The European Space Agency's Rosetta mission is one of the great explorations of unmanned spaceflight. It's taken the craft 10 years and a 6 billion kilometre journey from Earth to get to the comet. The comet itself is speeding towards the Sun at 55,000 kilometres per hour. Lots of superlatives inevitably in the statistics here. The spacecraft is intended to find out what a comet is made of and how it's reacting to the Sun. And the point of that is that comets are left over from the formation of the solar system 4.5 billion years ago. Some of the great dust cloud condensed into planets. Some was left over in comets. And by comparing the material in comets to what's on Earth now, scientists should get a better idea of how the early Earth might have been seeded by comets when comets were bombarding Earth. Whether they, for example, brought water to Earth, whether they filled the oceans when the ice melted, and whether they brought organic molecules that led to primitive life forms and eventually to ourselves. The landing is one of the most delicate maneuvers that's ever been carried out in space. There have been a lot of landings on planets, particularly on Mars, but in a sense that's easier because the gravity of a planet is quite strong, like on Earth. The comet nucleus, which is just 4 kilometers across, has a very, very gentle gravitational pull, and that means that when the lander reaches the surface, it has to anchor itself very quickly. It's got some ice screws to pull itself into the icy surface, and it's got a pair of harpoons which will be critical in holding its place so it doesn't bounce off and go off into the sky again. There have been a lot of space exploration missions, but this one, through its more gentle analysis, should give far more information. And for anyone who cares about the composition of the solar system, about the origins of Earth, of life, about the universe as a whole, it's fascinating. And then, of course, there's the sheer spectacle, the engineering, the scientific accomplishment. Gently landing a robotic probe on a comet 510 million kilometers from Earth is a staggering achievement. It ranks near the top or at the top of any accomplishment of unmanned space exploration. We've seen some spectacles before, some of the Mars landings, the European probe that landed on Saturn's Titan moon. They were great, but this is greater still. It was a more delicate and more difficult operation. It was an incredibly difficult, boulder-strewn, rocky surface, and yet it made it.